Piracy is an act of robbery in the high seas. It consists in attacking and stealing from another ship at the sea. The pirates were the ones that made these robbery attacks, which is illegal violence, but it was mostly the case that the sea robbers were given a license by other competing countries to go on attacking the Spanish, known as privateers. The English privateers, known as the Sea Dogs, began to attack Spanish between 1515 and 1600s. The most famous sea dog of this time was Sir Francis Drake. It was a hero to the English and a pirate for the Spanish. He was a buccaneer and the first English circumnavigator. He took over control during around the 17th century. It was during this time where a group of people began to form stronger groups around the western parts of Spain, which consisted in runaways from the European countries sailing at the time. Pockets of these new communities grew larger as lifestyle they started winning. By 1650, buccaneer became the privateers for the British, the French, and the Dutch, which were all against the Spanish. Shortly after this time, under the leadership of Oliver Cromwell, the English took Jamaica and many English moved to the island Tortuga, getting massive crews, turning into a military force and gaining international fame in both London and France. With the Treaty of Ryswick by the French, the privateering has ended as well as the buccaneer. As buccaneers couldn't get official licenses, they turned into illegal rages and going to the black zones. And by the 1700s, that pirates began sailing under the Jolly Roger flag. Between 1713 and 1714, a succession of peace treaties was signed which ended the War of the Spanish Succession. With the end of this conflict, thousands of seamen, including Britain's paramilitary privateers, were relieved of military duty. Colonial shipping trade was beginning to boom. Many pirates rejected government's protection and began to sail into the Indian Ocean along the coast of Africa, and this road between the Caribbean and the Indian Ocean became known as the Pirate Route, and this time would become known as the strongest period in the golden age of piracy. This decade would see some famous pirates, such as Blackbeard. Blackbeard was one of the most dreaded pirates who ever lived. Blackbeard was British, probably born before 1690. His real name was thought to be Edward Teach. The privateer's mission was to attack the ships of the enemy. As a young seaman, he had served on a British privateer that was based in Jamaica, an island in the Caribbean. By the War of Spanish Succession end, Teach had become an experienced sea robber. He then joined a group of fierce Caribbean pirates and became captain of his own ship, able to carry a large crew of as many as 250 pirates, having and going through a lot of battles. In 1718, the governor of Virginia decided that the time had stopped to Blackbeard. He sends 2 sloops of swift ships by the command of Robert Maynard. Blackbeard and his crew were trapped but ready for the battle. Blackbeard's boat got stuck, so Maynard's crew started to attack. It was Blackbeard against Maynard. Blackbeard was preparing for Maynard's end. He raised his arm for a finishing blow, and just in time, a Navy seaman came up from behind Blackbeard and slashed his throat. Blackbeard's head was cut off and suspended from the bow of Maynard's sloop. When Blackbeard died, the secret of his treasure died with him too. And at last, but not least, in pirates history, it is told that by 1721, there were nearly 2,000 pirates sailing the seas of the Caribbean and North America. By 1730, they have come nearly extinct.